What up, Cucks? It's your boy, the Hater, and it's time for Hater Outdoors. Once again, we're Hater Outdooring it today. It's a very, very hot day. I don't particularly like this. I'm personally ready for the fall. Fall is so much better than summer when you're an adult because, you know, you don't have to to be fair, this summer I worked far less than I normally do. So I need to, get back to it, make some money, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers. But irrespective of any of that, the fact of the matter is exactly what I've been saying, and that is that we need to move on to fall because better things happen in the fall, including Survivor Series. The Haters, previously favorite pay-per-view because I don't like war games. I think it's stupid. What do you think of them apples? But otherwise, fall is a nice predictor of how the year's going to go, in my opinion. And also fall leads us to winter, which leads us to the holidays, which is the Haters' favorite time of the year. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about something else. Something a bit more celebratory than even Christmas itself. That is the status of being tribal chief. You know, as I've alluded to in these last few videos, nobody cares at all about the WWE title. You know what I mean? Like at this point, the hierarchy of world titles is as follows. The Intercontinental Championship seems to be more important than the world title and the WWE title because it gets defended, right? The champion is also a superior champion, a more believable champion, right? It's like, Gunther's a big guy, but Braun Breaker is just too athletic to be anything but a champion. So as far as I'm concerned, the champion also makes the belt, right? Now, I did say just now that the most prestigious title is the Intercontinental title for the first time in its history, but I almost forgot about something else. Two things, in fact, that are more prestigious tokens and items that symbolize even greater power. On Monday Night Raw, we have CM Punk's Larry and AJ bracelet, right? You have main eventers fighting over a shitty bracelet that a third grader might make on a random ass day of summer camp, right? Where the bracelet making is like the third or fourth most important activity and likely the least fun activity of the day. On the other side, of course, obviously, we have one of the biggest wrestlers of all time, one of the biggest names of all time, Roman Reigns, fighting one of the biggest jobbers of all time over a pepper necklace called the Ulu Fala, okay? So, the Ulu Fala ranks first, then the CM Punk bracelet ranks second, then we got the Intercontinental title, and then I would say the two world titles at this point are completely even. Here's why. While it's easy to say, right? It's easy to say, it's clear as day that, Solo Sikoa is a jobber. The facts are that he did main event SummerSlam, which is one of the bigger pay-per-views, obviously. It's technically the second biggest pay-per-view of the year after Mania. Now, with all that being said, this doesn't make him a main eventer, but it does, elevate him a little bit. And he has possession of the Ulu Fala, right? I don't know why he even wants the WWE title. You have the Ulu Fala. You know what I'm saying? Who needs to be the world champion when you can have a pepper necklace? Nevertheless, the big dog, Roman Reigns, who has returned, and in my opinion, it's not like a horrible return. It's already kind of tapered off, hasn't it? You know what I mean? It already doesn't feel special anymore. He's not going to be there this Friday, so who cares? But Roman Reigns, he lost the world title to Cody Rhodes. Adam Pearce, according to Adam Pearce himself, or was it Nick Aldis? I think it's Nick Aldis on SmackDown, yeah. Nick Aldis was going to make him the, the fucking number one contender, right? Roman Reigns was going to get a rematch immediately by virtue of being champion for 4 years. But apparently it didn't happen. Roman Reigns doesn't even seem to be wanting a rematch, right? Thus far, he has not done anything to interact with Cody Rhodes, who is obviously the champion. He seems to be more concerned over the Ulu Fala. As a matter of fact, who has ownership of the Ulu Fala is clearly taking precedence over who has ownership of the WWE title. See what I'm getting at here? The show has closed now with the Ulu Fala twice. And for 2 weeks, it's almost like every single week, Cody Rhodes becomes less and less relevant. And by virtue of that, the WWE title becomes less and less relevant, right? Cody Rhodes' title reign is very similar to Bayley's and to Sami Zayn's title reigns, in that it's completely meaningless. Nobody really gives a rat's ass about it at all. And when we think about it in the past, in the future, no one's going to give a shit. It's not going to be memorable, right? Maybe the WrestleMania match might be, but nobody cares because the title reign is going to go down as one of the worst ever, you know? Because at the end of the day, he's wrestling jobbers, mid-card jobbers like Kevin Owens. Like, think about it. Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, like, he lost, I think he took the pin too, from, in a triple threat match with Randy Orton and Logan Paul. Logan Paul just beat a WWE legend and a WWE jobber. And now the jobber part of this equation, somehow, even though he's done absolutely nothing since then, all he's done is lose. He's pretty much been a failure since before WrestleMania, but let's just start counting after WrestleMania. He's done fuck all, and he gets a title shot that he doesn't even want. So it's like, let's think about it this way. One of the two SummerSlam main eventers, Solo Sikoa, wanted and wants the Ulu Fala. The number one wrestler in the company, Roman Reigns, also wants the Ulu Fala. Cody Rhodes, the other main eventer of SummerSlam, presumably he wants to be WWE champion still. But nobody else wants it, right? There is nobody else that wants it. As a matter of fact, if we're throwing away title opportunities, right? Randy Orton decided to go after Gunther. Now, I get it. He's a face. Cody Rhodes is his buddy. But nevertheless, Randy Orton, who's clearly the better of him and Kevin Owens, decided to go for the World Heavyweight title. So you can even argue that the Gunther title is now a bit more prestigious than the WWE title. Like, think about how much less relevant the WWE title is since Cody has had it, right? When Roman Reigns had it, it's like everyone seemingly wanted it, right? For a long time, there was only one title too. But now, we have a title, on Raw. We've got the CM Punk, wristband, or bracelet, I should say. And of course, we've got the Ulu Fala itself. So, somewhere down there, next to the NXT title, is where Cody Rhodes' WWE title operates, right? It's essentially a mid-card title. And here's how I know. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, this is obviously not going to happen, but let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa would happen at Bash in Berlin, right? Even though Gunther is from Austria, which is next to Germany, and therefore he can kind of claim a hometown advantage, right? Even though he's from there, we all know that that match wouldn't go last. It would go before Cody Rhodes, after Cody Rhodes, but it wouldn't go last, right? So the last three matches in terms of hierarchy of importance, because one of them might also open the show, who the hell knows? But in terms of the hierarchy of importance, at Bash in Berlin, Cody Rhodes would be third to Gunther, because Gunther versus Randy Orton is obviously much more compelling than Cody versus Cody, right? Cody Owens versus Cody Rhodes, So we've got that right there. But we all know that irrespective of anything that happens, the main guy, Roman Reigns, would obviously main event. Now, there's a small chance that they might still give it to Gunther, but I highly, highly doubt it. If this were to happen at any other context, right, there is a 0 chance that anything happens other than Roman Reigns is in the main event. From this point forward, rest assured, if Roman Reigns is involved in a pay-per-view, whatever the hell he's doing is going on last, right? If Roman Reigns decides to take a shit in the middle of the ring match, then Roman Reigns taking a shit in the middle of the ring is going to close the show. You understand what I'm getting at? So, with all that being said, the WWE title is completely useless now, We have people that care more, like Roman Reigns has 2 claims, right? He could go and become the tribal chief, which in my opinion, this storyline is already stupid because Roman Reigns is out there trying to establish that he's the tribal chief. No, he should go out there and be like, I'm the tribal chief. And it should be Solo Sikoa who wants to attack Roman Reigns, right? Roman Reigns wanting to attack Solo Sikoa, you could justify that once, maybe twice, because it's like, oh, who do you think you are taking my spot, right? But it's still his spot. Now that he's back, it's still his spot. The understanding behind the entire new bloodline, the whole concept of the new bloodline is predicated upon the fact that Roman Reigns is not around anymore. Because presumably, if Roman Reigns were still around, Solo Sikoa wouldn't do this, right? He wouldn't have the balls to do this. That's the whole idea. The whole idea is now there's a vacuum, a power vacuum, and someone needs to fill it, right? Solo Sikoa is trying to fill it. But now the vacuum is no longer there because Roman Reigns is back. So if anything, Roman Reigns should be like, I'm the tribal chief. He should just beat up Solo Sikoa once and that's it. Roman Reigns should have no interest in beating him up more than once. I beat his ass because he got out of line. And then Roman Reigns should say, okay, look, if you want to join the Bloodline, I'm going to have to vet you out and see what's up, right? And then Solo Sikoa can attack him. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been a much better feud. Maybe, instead of how they're doing it now, Roman Reigns attacks Solo, costing him the title. The next Friday, Solo Sikoa comes out and says, I'm sorry, tribal chief. I stepped out of line. I should have done that. I am ready to follow. I'm ready to acknowledge you, tribal chief. Right? And then you can have, like, Jacob Fatu being retarded and, like, yelling for no reason next to him if you want, right? And then Roman Reigns comes out, and he thinks they're going to have a conversation, and then he gets ambushed, right? That would have been a much better, and then he also whoops their ass at the same time, right? Because the idea that they can beat Roman Reigns is silly, but that's not really what this is about. The whole point here is that the priorities of the main character of WWE, Roman Reigns, are skewed. They are now focused on a pepper necklace. You know, I literally, when I was Googling pictures of the Ulu Fola to use for the thumbnail of my last video, I came across a listing on, like, Alibaba, right? You can buy, like, for $1,000. I know you're thinking, wow, that's a lot of money, hater. No. For $1,000, you can get, like, I don't know, like 75 Ulu Folas, which, averages out to, like, what, $12, or so per Ulu Fola. Like, these are pieces of shit, you know what I mean? And Roman Reigns wants one of these. Why not just buy another one and show up and be like, I'm the tribal chief, right? Like, Paul Heyman hasn't recognized him. Plus, isn't it all about that? Whoever recognizes him as the tribal chief, that person that is recognized is the tribal chief, but whatever. Like, the Samoans have to be booked as, like, being basically retarded, right? Like, the Samoans and the Tongans, all of whom are from, like, Florida, right? They all have to be booked as if they're so stupid and so primitive that they can easily be tricked by a pepper necklace. In other words, the implications are what? That Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga would turn on Jacob Fatu and, let's say, Solo Sikoa if Roman Reigns has a necklace? Like, what's the point, motherfucks? But anyways, I don't want to get too farther into this because I think the point's been made. The Ulu Fola is now the most important trinket in the WWE, followed closely by the CM Punk bracelet, and then there you have it, you know what I mean? Followed third by Dominic Mysterio himself, you know what I'm saying? But there you have it, Cucks. The WWE title has been rendered completely meaningless by the likes of Rody Chodes, our hero, Nobody wants it, nobody cares about it, and here we are. Cucks.